Hi, I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and you're watching thevog.net. I'm here at English Cycle in London, Ontario, that's in Canada, and here with me is the one and only, the mayor of Vogville, OneThumb. Alan, I gotta tell you, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Andy, it's a pleasure having you come up here again. I always enjoy your company, and we're going to have a great time today.
Okay, let's take a minute and explain what's going on this weekend. It's a demo day here at English Cycle. Alan said, hey, why don't you come on up here? So we have a whole weekend's worth of events we're planning, kind of spur of the moment. It hadn't been planned that long. We got a lot of the OT CAN members going to show up and a lot of other folks who are coming around just to see, to take test rides and to see what we do here. Am I correct so far?
You're absolutely correct.
I know we have a meetup tonight for a barbecue. Tomorrow we have more demo rides. Now, while we're here, before we get into your bike, any bikes that you're going to demo?
I'd like to take out a Vision, but I don't know whether I'm going to get a chance to do that today yet or not.
I haven't seen you in 2 years, and you have the same bike, but it doesn't look anything like the bike that I saw before. You've had a pretty busy winter, haven't you?
Yes, I have. It's had quite a makeover for 2012.
Well, I think that we've affectionately called it, this is the OT Pindian, because it's your Kingpin Indian type of style. Is that pretty correct?
I've nicknamed it the Kingpinian.
And that's because it's a Kingpin that has some flares of some Indian accessories.
Yes, yeah, the fringe.
Now, I know you've done a lot of mods on this bike. Let's start with the bags. Now, I know you're a very detail-oriented person, and you just didn't rush out and buy a set of bags. You shopped, and you took a couple years looking for the right bags. What did you end up going with?
I ended up going with Leatherneck Jim's bags, the Indian version, the extra large. The Kingpin did not come with saddlebags, and the ones that you could order for it were very small. So I wanted a decent set of saddlebags, and how I mounted these on were using Barracuda Customs, no longer available saddlebag mounts, which work perfect, and that's what gives the bike the look now.
Now, I remember you were posting pictures all throughout your mod process, and just getting them where they were lined up perfectly straight. That took quite a bit of tedious work, didn't it?
Yeah, lining them up and mounting them was the last plan of installation. I just wanted to get the bike back together again and see how they looked, and marked the holes, drilled, and I think they're the perfect height, perfect centering that really set the bike off.
Now that you've had them for a couple of months and you've able to log some miles on them and throw a few pieces of gear in them, what do you think of them?
I like them. My wife doesn't like the fringes. She'd like to get a pair of scissors and cut them off.
Oh, you think she's going to do that in your sleep one night?
She could do.
I noticed you still have your beard, so she hadn't taken that off yet.
It was quite a bit longer. It's quite a bit shorter right now.
So too, OneThumb's wife, the lovely Leslie, if you see her running around with scissors, go hide your bike.
Definitely.
And your beard.
Yes. She's a pro with the scissors.
Now, speaking of fringes, you did a fringe theme on here. What led you to that?
I thought the bike, to begin with, had sort of the Indian styling, and I just wanted it to look like no other Kingpin out there. And I think I've accomplished that. Oh, you absolutely have. Now, I've noticed that you've put, I think that's a new rack, and you now have your flag mounts on. Yes, that's a cool metal, quick detach rack. And I was able to modify the brackets so that it goes on there with the saddlebags. Now, you've also done a lot of stuff with your lighting. Yes, the signal lights on the back used to be just turn signals. I've added cool metal turn signals that can work as running lights, brake lights, and turn signals. I tell you, you've really done a nice job there. Now, looking at the front, of course, you have your fringe here. Now, I have to ask you, years ago when I had a Heritage Softail special, I put fringe on my levers,
and I kept them on for about 2 hours because it was really, banging against my wrist whenever I got up to speed. Have you experienced that?
No, I don't get out of second gear.
How did you get the reputation for not getting out of first or second gear?
It's called senior abuse.
So people are just picking on you.
Yes, that's all they do.
Well, let's say when you do happen on occasion to hit that third or fourth, maybe sometimes even fifth gear, do you feel the fringe wrapping against you?
No, I actually go fast enough that they fly straight out. They don't come up and hit my arm. If I'm going in second gear, they keep the flies off my arms.
Now, what other mods have you done to it since I've seen you last? I don't think you have the GPS on before, or the cup holder, or
also the crash guard, the highway pegs, the fender guard, and the windshield lowers. I didn't have them on, but yeah.
So, are you finished with your mods for a while, or you got something else in mind?
If I go to do anything else, it might be one of those wide open custom fairing on the front.
Oh, so you think you'll put an audio system in there too?
I might have to change my exhaust to hear it.
Okay, now which exhaust system you have on here? I know they're loud, but which ones did you put on here?
I have the Victory Stage 1 drag pipes, and with the baffles in, and with the cool metal /cut ends on them.
Well, it sounds good, but I tell you what, why don't we take a moment, let's take a break, and let's listen to OneThumb's exhaust. Alan, I gotta tell you, the exhausts really sound good. I'm sure your neighbors really like it.
Yeah, I come in. I don't even park the bike at home. I store it down the street, so I disturb other neighbors.
Well, Alan, I gotta tell you, you've really done a nice job to it. Okay, we're gonna take a very short commercial break, but don't go away, because when we come back, I got a lot more to go through with OneThumb, the mayor of Vaughaville. So stay tuned to the Vog. Now, another question for you. You've logged a lot of miles on your Kingpin. You've had it for a while. You've been a great proponent for Kingpin riders. What advice do you have for anyone who may be considering either a new or pre-owned Victory Kingpin?
A Kingpin is a great bike. I really enjoy it, and I haven't seen anything yet that I would worthwhile switching to. So
you're going to keep your Kingpin for a while?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so if anybody's buying it, if they're just going to buy a stock model, what are the essential mods you think they need to do within the first couple months of ownership?
Depending on how long their legs are, their inseam, I would say a Mustang seat. That's what really did it for me.
Okay, and that's what you're riding?
Yes. The Mustang seat sets me back another 1.5 inches, and with me being 6 foot, that just suits me fine. Okay,
one thing that we started doing on the Vog, and let's go and take a look at it now. Every bike has a different riding position. You're right at 6 foot tall, correct?
Yes.
Okay, why don't I step back and let's see what you look like on this bike so we can kind of get the riding position here. Okay. Hey, that wasn't too bad for an old guy.
Yeah, I can still lift my leg.
Well, so can my dog.
Yeah.
Just don't pee on the bike, okay? Okay, Alan, I'm looking at you. You look comfortable. You're on the highway bars. Go in and put your feet on the floorboard so we can see what the riding position's like. Put your hands up here, and if you look at it, this is a nice, comfortable riding position.
Yes, this position is kind of tight for me. But I generally put them up on the floorboards here, and not right on the floorboard, but this is my perfect riding position right here, like this.
So right there on the highway peg.
Yes, and that works just great. I don't have any problems, but on a long run where I'm draining the tank, I will move my feet around on the floorboards.
Okay, so you think this is an all-day cruiser for you? This is not a bar hopper?
No, it's I can go through a couple tanks of gas. That's about the longest trip that I've been on. Maybe 3 tanks, and I enjoy it.
And for those, for the final word, who call Kingpins an old man's bike, what do you have to say about that?
Don is catching up to me.
Okay. Now, Don's the guy who gives him flack about this being an old man's bike.
Yes, my buddy Don. He calls this an old man's bike. If I dyed my hair dark, I would look good on this bike too.
Well, I'm sure we'll pass that over. And for those who don't know, Don is DSJR on the Vogue. You all have had kind of a running happy feud about this bike. But I got to tell you, Alan, I've always been a fan of Kingpins. I think it's a classic look. It's a smooth ride. It's a comfortable bike. It's easy to handle. The raking is just right. Where U-turn, slow speed maneuvering is fairly easy to accomplish. And it gives you, even though it's very similar to the Vegas, it's completely different in riding style. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I have gone to the Metzler tires, the radials. I know some people have had problems with them on their Kingpins, but I'm on my second rear now, and that's what seems to run perfect on this bike for the highway and the turns and the twisties or whatever for me. They work, and that's why I went back for a second one.
Now, how many miles you typically get on tires using the Metzlers?
The first rear Metzler, I got close to 16,000 K on it. And
okay, translate that to American for me.
I don't have my calculator here. 1,000 K is just over 600 miles, so yeah.
Okay, well that seems pretty good, especially, your Canadian roads here, they're a little rough, and they're tired. They chew up tires here, don't they?
The highways are pretty good shape. Yeah, the super slabs, they're in good shape. And you can travel at the speed limit or above comfortably.
Well, Alan, I got to tell you, it's a pleasure to see you. Your bike looks gorgeous. It's like a brand new bike. You take great care of it. You've done a wonderful job with the mods. You've developed a whole new category of, how do you call it, Kingpindian bike?
Yes, the Kingpindian.
And I hope you have many, many more happy miles on it. And again, I appreciate everything that you've done for the Vogue Ontario, Canada members. You have really built a great group of guys up here.
Well, thank you, Andy. I enjoy my victory, and if there's something going on somewhere, I try to attend.
Well, and I have to tell you, it's not easy putting groups together. And Alan, I want to tell you, I appreciate everything you've done. The guys who you've put together and have assembled, you've really made some great friends over just the past few years that you've been doing this, and many thanks go to you.
Yes, I have made a lot of great friends on the Vogue and in our Ontario group, and we are spread out. The top 5 that we hang around with, we could be up to 3 hours away, and we'll meet for coffee.
And that's Tim Hortons.
That's Tim Hortons, you're correct.
Alan, I want to thank you very much. For the Vogue.net, I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and I'll see you on the road and online.